Welcome to Hug Nation. It is, actually, I don't know, it's March 15th, is that right? March 15th. March 15th! How exciting! It is March 15th, which means it's now. Today, now is happening. And now happens to be the best moment that has ever been. Yeah. It's the only moment that's ever been. And we just constantly experience it. So thank you for joining me in this now as we surrender and allow and get this vibration within us to kind of strengthen by being around other people in a similar vibration. Well, that just sounds like an awesome idea. Let's take a moment and just get present. Become mindful. Let go of our conscious cerebral experiencing of the world and simply receive the input, receive the stimulus, receive the messages in the forms of vibrations externally and internally. That is the gift of consciousness. Become aware of your body. Become aware of the temperature at different parts of your skin, where it's underclothed and exposed, where skin is touching skin, where your feet are touching the ground. Feel yourself rooted to the floor, to the earth, through that connected to everything. Notice the sounds, the vibrations. Notice my vibrational voice hitting your eardrum, physically touching you through this transfer of bits and bytes and caressing the little hairs in your ear. And as we experience all of these sensations, let's take a moment to just reflect on the gift of this position, the gift of being in this seat, being in the spaceship that gets to cruise around this planet, this amazing planet that is in the perfect position next to the perfect sized star with the perfect amount of rotation so that life is vibrant and thriving, so that plants are photosynthesizing and fruiting and flowering, and animals are reproducing and showing off their feathers and grooming themselves, and a whole lot of love making. All part of the natural order, all part of this surrendering to the cosmic flow. Each being, each entity, each vibration simply doing its part, playing its role, not steering their way through the cosmos, but simply floating in the perfect way that they've always been intended to be. We are no different. We just have this consciousness layered on top of us. It's the gift of being able to experience and be aware of this as it's all happening. But don't get too confused and think that just because we have the gift of awareness, that means we're responsible for figuring things out. This conscious brain we've been gifted has got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, some decades worth of experience to make sense of it all. That is not enough to start making judgments or assigning right or wrong or knowing what is best. The cosmic consciousness, the flow, the direction of love, the surrender, that is the only, well, not the only, that is the only way I believe that you can know that you are following truth. The conscious mind can never figure it out. It just doesn't have the vantage point. But the flow, the vibration, the rhythms, that is the truth that we need to surrender to and allow to flow through us, to vibrate in us, to allow us to feel connected to one another, to know we are connected to one another, to feel the rhythms in music, to dance, to feel the rhythms of song, to feel the rhythms of laughter, to feel the rhythms of life and death, of rebirth and decay, to just celebrate the gift of being able to experience this grand symphony of sensation as we take our role as nerve cell of the cosmic organism, receiving stimulus. Wow, what a gift. And we are all in it together. We are all receiving the stimulus as our role as nerve cells. No better or no worse than the other cells of this massive organism, the rock cells, the cells of space, the cells of fire, and all of us playing our role, just as all the cells of a body play their role. The eyesight, the rods and cones are important, but no more important than the bile duct, or the marrow, or the hair follicle. We all work together. We all play our role. We're all interconnected. We're all perfect. So let's take a deep breath and sit in appreciation of being one of the rockin' cells that gets to open our eyes and see what's going on. Hear, feel, taste, and surrender to it. Thank you, universe, for all these blessings. Help us to stay aware of this gift, this constant barrage of gifts, this now moment so full of amazement that we can just surrender to awe, and in doing so, align ourselves in love. Amen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is, well, it is quite a day, as it always is. Let me see what I got here. It looks like I got a little brightness. Let's try to turn that down a little. Maybe, no, maybe no. It's hard to tell when my eyes are closed and I open them. Maybe it's always too bright. So, thanks for the patience. We had all sorts of technical challenges today. But then again, if you have a challenge every day, is it still a challenge or is it just baseline? That's actually something that I was talking about this weekend, and maybe, you know what, let's address that today. One of the challenges of being a human being is that we have so much amazing things that it becomes overwhelming. And just as, you know, when you put your hand in water, it's hot, and then you get used to it and you don't notice it. That is the case with all of the wonder in the world. It becomes, you know, a baby is wide-eyed and wondrous, but by the time they can speak, it's not so amazing that there's clouds in the sky. It's curious, but not as, oh, what the? And over time, we start to become used to, we start to take for granted pretty much everything. Things that 100 years ago would have been miracles, we take for granted like it's nothing. Who here took a shower this morning? Anyone? What about in the last week? Did anyone take a shower? And when that happened, was there water that shot out of your wall? Drinkable water? Water so clean, you could drink it if you wanted to, shooting out of the wall. And you could just, with a dial, oh, I want it a little hotter. Oh, that's too hot, a little colder. Shooting, pumping out of the wall. At height just right for your hair, oh, da da da. And then, you know what, when you were all done with this magical cascade of water, this waterfall at your just temperature, whatever you want, shooting from the wall, after that all happened, what was the cleanup like? Did you have to mop up and get buckets and take it, or did it go down a little magical hole and just disappear? Ta-da! All you need to do is grab a towel. Oh, which was washed, what, probably in a washing machine, so it all smells good because you've got little things you can put in the dryer, and you get, what the? Do you know what that experience would have been like to someone 200 years ago? Somebody who showered once when they left New York and maybe, not showered, rinsed once in New York and then again 3 months later when their wagon got to some place that had not running water, but a river. Imagine, next time you take your shower, do that, recalibrate your baseline. Just be like, whoa. Not even to mention the fact that all over the world right now are people who are walking. Right now, as I'm talking, there are people walking with big ass jugs of water, walking miles from a place that has semi-clean water back to where they live. Walking for miles with, have you ever carried like a water bottle, like a big thing of water? That is heavy. If we want a little water, what do? We just go, people all over the world whose baseline is a little bit more, I would say, appropriate for what has been around for the history of time, see water, respect water, and get the gift of water, clean water. We are so accustomed to it. We take it so much for granted that we take a bowl of drinkable, clean water and we take dumps in them. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying you should, start an impromptu fertilizer farm in between, your apartment and the communal garden. But it's just good to recalibrate and snap back and be like, whoa, this is amazing. Go to a grocery store and just cruise the aisles and look at the produce from all over the world, no matter what the season. You know that for most of history, if you wanted a fruit or vegetable, you had to wait till summer. And then you had to find something and find what was available in your location, which was probably kale or some other thing that I wouldn't really walk that far to get. Sugar, can you imagine? Do you know that when Johnny Appleseed planted sugar, well, sorry, I'm not saying that very well. Johnny Appleseed, and this is from the book Botany of Desire, he was a real guy who planted apple seedlings. Not because he wanted to keep the doctor away, but because sugar was so rare in the emerging United States, and apple is one of the few ways that you could get sugar. Now you think, oh, we all had a sweet tooth? Actually, the majority of the apples were used for brewing booze. Think about that. We can go to the liquor store right now and get fucked up if we want to. Imagine if you had to go. I mean, do you ever, when you were a kid, you read the books about people going in ships and people dying on the way to get spices? Spices? Like, life is so baseline low that making your food taste like spicy in some way, salt and different spices, is actually like treasure. Imagine if you looked at your cupboard. Imagine if you looked at your cabinets and your spices and were like, I am rich! I live a life of abundance and wealth! Ha ha! Resetting your baseline is the quickest way to become wealthy. Because the truth is, being wealthy has nothing to do about the amount of things you have, the amount of money you have. It has everything to do with how much you think you need. And if you think that you need more, well then you're poor. And if you think you have enough, well then you're rich. If you can see the sunset and be like, I can't believe I get to watch the colors shooting around the sky, well then, bravo, rich man. And if you're pissed off because you're late for your appointment with your massage therapist, well, I don't care how often you can afford to get a massage, you're poor, my friend. Now, this is an important thing to remember all the time. But it's especially important to remember in a time when there is a massive state of disaster going on. Because these disastrous experiences are every bit as normal as sunrises, sunsets. The world is in a state of flux constantly. That's just what nature is. Nature is an incredibly violent place. We have this false sense of security, this false sense of protection. And every once in a while, nature snaps us back and says, guys, it's not all safe. And I think there's some powerful lessons in that of like, look, get back into the now, because all of this stress and trying to protect and create a path and a plan that you can control so that you're secure and so that you're safe, like by getting too focused on that means that the now moment is passing by without you in it. And so if you live a lifetime not enjoying the now, who cares when disaster hits and your life eventually ends? You weren't living it. So while my heart goes out to those that are affected and feeling loss and pain right now, and any time, but there's pain and loss constantly all over the world. There's pain and loss. The tragic pain and loss to me is the people that are dealing with deaths because of human ignorance, because of human greed, because of human anger. The number of people dying because of stupid wars, because of fear, because of religious intolerance, because of that. A death at the hands of that kind of human small-mindedness. Now that is tragic. In comparison to that, having your life end at the hands of the great cosmic ballet in a tsunami, while violent, is also poetic. I hate to break it to you, but life is a terminal condition. And we're all gonna die. And the more that we embrace that, the more richness we can find in life, the more we can celebrate those that we've lost, and the more we can simply see the treasures and see how much nothing is lacking in the now. Even if our house is crumpled, there's still a sunset when the day ends. And even if a person is no longer physically in your life, you are still so full of their richness, so full of their memory, so full of all the love. In fact, that's why it hurts when they are gone. You have made space for this love, this vibrational just warmth and yumminess. And then when they're gone, that transition, that absence, that echoing of that love is what hurts so much. And if you can try to shift that thought to see that echoing, that pain, not as pain, but just that, the echo of the love, this extreme emotional thing you're feeling is the ripples of this powerful stone that was thrown into your consciousness, thrown into your heart, thrown into your vibration. And it will echo through you forever. It will change, it has changed your vibration. Every person that we interact changes our vibration. And when one of those vibrations ends, there is that recalibration moment that can be painful. But it can also be a reminder of what a gift their vibration was. So, let's have a little Hug Nation hug with a specific intention of recalibrating our baseline. We're going to have a twofold purpose, actually. One is going to be to try to hold space and send light and healing and love to all those who have been disrupted by the natural world's violence. And I say violence not in a negative sense. Violence in that is the state of the world. There is chaos and there is order. And in every state of the universe, chaos, order, chaos, order. It is a fractal pattern that covers everything. When you go microscopic or into the cosmos, we are surrounded by layers of chaos, order, chaos, order. So let's grab ourselves by the shoulder. And as we feel these shoulders, imagine we are embracing someone, some beautiful, open-hearted, hurting person somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world. And we're holding them in light. We are filling their heart with love. We're filling them with the knowledge that they are pure and whole, comforting them, acknowledging their hurt and pain, but also holding them as you would hold a crying baby, as you know they will be fine, they will be okay, they will be perfect, because they are perfect. And then feel those arms that you're being held by right now as being the arms of someone far away that's having that same comfort to you. Because we are all holding each other's. We're all comforting each other. We are all both the crying baby and the comforting mother. And so let's take another second from the state of comfort, the state of it's all going to be okay, the state of gratitude that we are conscious to experience it, even the pain, even the loss. We get to experience the grand drama of humanity, of love, of being open-hearted. We would want our life stories to be epic myths, not fluff reading. Who wouldn't want grand highs, grand lows when it comes to the final page of your book? And the truth is, it doesn't matter if it's a short book or a long book. Haikus can be every bit as epic as the Ulysses. So now, as we become aware of this body, let's be appreciative of every breath that it gives us, every beat of our heart that it does for us without any thinking on our part. Let's be full of gratitude for all the miracles and healing that is happening in every moment inside our body. And become aware of every relationship in our life, every bit of laughter, every ray of sunshine, every amazing shower, every bite of food. And so when I say now, it's going to magically reset our baseline to that of a newborn. And at the end of Hug Nation, the sun's going to be a little brighter, but immensely more beautiful. Our food is going to taste more amazing. Smiles are going to be like miracles. Are you ready? Take a deep breath. Now! On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all the love warriors, happy Hug Nation. Thank you for being, thank you for allowing, thank you for letting the vibration of love flow through you and be you, and let it amplify and be something that you share with the world, not by any action, but merely by surrender. It is a treat, an honor, a privilege to share the journey with you, to share this planet, to share this awake now moment. Thank you. I love you. Namaste.
You only live once. Enjoy the color.